Welcome to today's Willpower Moment. I'm Dr. James Meschino. Our topic today, how to preserve your willpower from day to day. Just about everybody at some point sets some wellness goals for themselves. They've had to lose some weight, swear off eating certain foods, they purchase a gym membership to get in better shape, they buy some home exercise equipment that they plan to use regularly. We all get inspired from time to time to make changes like this that we know will serve our best self-interest and our future health. The challenge for most people is sticking with it. Most people want to stick with the program. They want to do it, they just can't seem to do it. So setting the goal is the easy part. The challenging part is staying with it from day to day. And it's challenging to follow through because each day we get up and we're faced with many in-the-moment decisions where we have to decide, do we stay on track or do we allow ourselves to get pulled off track? For example, one study asked people how many food-related decisions they thought they made in a single day. Now, the average person guessed 14. In reality, when they actually tracked these participants, they saw that the number was 227. That's 227 food decision-making moments in a single day. That's a lot. And if you're not in the right mindset, it becomes very easy to start making bad decisions, ones that are not consistent with your long-term wellness goals. So studies show that being able to make good decisions in any moment depends on the state of what's known as your willpower reserve, or your current capacity for self-control. Now, many factors, unfortunately, can decrease the state of your willpower reserve from day to day, especially things that put stress on your mind or your body. So studies show that feelings of anxiety, anger, depression, loneliness they're all associated with less self-control. Same with chronic pain, fatigue, illness. They can also deplete your willpower reserve. In addition to these things, being distracted or hyperstimulated, so common in today's multimedia age, also weaken our willpower reserve in the moment. When your mind is preoccupied, your impulses, not your long-term goals, are often more likely to guide your choices. So for example, distracted shoppers are more susceptible to in-store promotions, purchasing items that were not originally on their shopping list. So retailers use distraction strategies to their advantage all the time to try to get you to buy things you weren't even thinking about when you walked into the store. In one experiment, students who were distracted by the instruction of having to memorize some information were 50% more likely to choose chocolate cake over fruit at the snack cart during the memorizing phase of the study. When you're distracted by something, it's easier to let your impulses guide you rather than following your long-term goals. So by the same token, if you're standing in line at a coffee shop texting a friend, you might be more inclined to order a high-fat pastry or a high-fat muffin instead of just the coffee, when it's your turn to order. When we get distracted, we're in the midst of multitasking, or we're in a hyper-stimulated state, say we're at a social gathering, our capacity for self-control often decreases. So our willpower reserve can easily be weakened by any of these things, and we become susceptible to eating foods we swore off or skipping our workout. But all is not lost. Studies prove that it's possible to maintain our willpower, enabling us to easily overcome daily temptations and keep ourselves on track, but you need the right strategy. The strategies that are proven to work in human behavioral studies, which I'm going to share with you. But for today, I just want to drive home the point that setting wellness goals is the easy part. Setting goals for an improved diet and exercise, but it's going to come with a series of daily challenges that can easily weaken your willpower reserve, veer you off track unless you identify your personal vulnerabilities and put into place a plan to preserve your willpower from day to day. So take a moment to think about what things specifically weaken your personal self-control when it comes to food and exercise choices. For each of us, it's different. If you can identify your weaknesses, then you can, through self-awareness, catch yourself in those moments and maybe start making better decisions. Now, in the next Willpower Moment, I will share with you the 4 proven strategies to strengthen your willpower reserve. But today, I just want to get you to identify which factors are the ones that really where you're most vulnerable. Things where you're more likely to lose control, prompting you to reach for the wrong foods or skip your exercise routine on that particular day. Is it when you're distracted or in the midst of multitasking at work or at home? Is that when you start sort of stuffing your face with treats and snacks, or you get so caught up that you lose your enthusiasm to put on your running shoes and get on your exercise bike for 30 minutes? Or is it when you're in a hyper-stimulated state, you're at a social gathering, where all of a sudden you find yourself nibbling on potato chips, something you wouldn't maybe do at home, or you do the same thing while you're watching TV or a video podcast, or while you're messaging or texting on your smartphone or your tablet? Or is it when you're in the office board meeting and you start eating the high-fat muffins? Something you wouldn't typically do, in another situation. Or is it when you feel a little lonely or bored or depressed or sad, a little angry or anxious about something that's coming up in the future? Is that when you feel most vulnerable to eating comfort foods and lying down rather than doing the exercise that would actually make you feel better? Or is it when you're physically tired or exhausted? Which of these things comes up for you? We all have our own challenges, and identifying the ones that affect us personally really helps us catch ourselves in that moment when these things surface, hopefully enabling us to interrupt our typical pattern. For me, I will tell you, it's primarily when I feel tired or run down or overwhelmed. Those things can really derail me. So I stay on the lookout for those feelings, and I try to catch myself in those moments when I know I'm a bit vulnerable. And I have a plan to keep it all in check when it does arise. So in the next edition of today's Willpower Moment, I'm going to share with you the 4 proven strategies to strengthen your willpower reserve from day to day, enabling you to preserve your willpower and overcome your personal vulnerabilities, whatever they happen to be for you. It's the very simple but highly effective, proven formula known as the MDMS formula. And believe me, once you learn it, you'll have no trouble remaining in the optimal mental and physiological state required to achieve your wellness goals and resist the in-the-moment temptations of daily life that can so easily derail you. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.